The lead up to Battlefield 5 has been nothing short of a complete fucking disaster. The thing that's ironic about this is that most, not all, but most of the formula to make an absolutely terrific game is already in place with this title. I knew EA and DICE to make some questionable decisions after the Star Wars Battlefront 2 debacle of 2017, a turning point in the ever-growing war between the makers of the game and the players of the game. Some might say that Battlefront 2 being the first war that the players actually won. But even after all that, I am absolutely speechless at some of the questionable decisions that have been made with this game. In my own experience and history with the game so far, after reading many comments, many tweets, watching many videos on the matter, there are two major components that have contributed fuel to the fire that is an extremely angry and dissatisfied player base. And those are the social justice warrior agenda and a terrible attitude. And guess what? We're going to talk about both of these right now. So let's discuss the clear as day, completely over the top SJW agenda that this game is pushing. It's a topic that's been talked about by YouTubers time and time again, but are you really expecting me to produce a Battlefield 5 criticism video and leave this out? You just can't. So since just about everything's been said about this, we can try and keep it as short as possible, and I'll start with this. Most players do not care that women are in the game. In fact, I guarantee you that once the open beta begins, the game releases and is fully populated, you're gonna see a shitload of people playing as women. You know why? Because some guys are fucking creeps and we like playing as women, okay? Let's have a reminder of what happened in Call of Duty World War II. When women characters were revealed to be part of the game, a lot of people got pissed off. Big surprise. Now, the Call of Duty community wasn't nearly as pissed off as the Battlefield community is now, but they were still pissed. But guess what? The game launched, and a very large portion of players quickly adopted playing as women. And no one really cares anymore, right? You haven't seen anybody talk about this with COD for months. Cool, great, right, it all blew over, great, awesome. But the women in COD were revealed much more subtly than the women in Battlefield. Now here's the part where we talk about super prosthetic arm woman. It's one thing to put women in your war video game, no big deal. But of course, the reason that everyone got mad about it is because they had an over-the-top trailer that featured the typical badass chick type of woman killing people point blank, quick scoping with a sniper rifle, eating bullets like it's her job, with that stupid goddamn prosthetic arm. The infamous prosthetic arm. That arm will go down in infamy. Just ridiculous. Now you might say, oh, wait a second, you're a sexist, bro. Nah, I even showed my fiance this trailer, and she thought it was fucking stupid too. Pretty much everybody, except somebody with a special interest in Battlefield, like someone from EA, or DICE, or some big Battlefield YouTuber, also agrees that it was stupid. And of course, it was just way too insane of a trailer. Right at the end of the trailer, the Nazi's about to kill you. What happens? Yes, the ultra badass woman comes and saves your life, and wow, just how incredible and how unpredictable. Really, I never even saw it coming, totally. You know what's funny though? If you replace this woman with a man in the trailer, everyone would agree that it would still suck, because it still seems like more of a trailer for some shitty action movie than the reveal of a World War II video game. So what is the end game here, and why are people so mad? Of course, it's because the trailer put forth this portrayal of women as some kind of superhumans that are gonna take down entire battalions of soldiers. Women can't do that. Men can't do that. Nobody can do that, okay? It's that simple. Now, to be fair, I'm just gonna play devil's advocate with myself for a second here. There are definitely some people out there that don't want women in the game at all, and that's too bad, it really is, because I can't get on that level of thinking. But from what I've seen online in comments and on Twitter is that most people don't mind women being in the game, they just don't want to be force-fed a bunch of SJW, women are badass, Yas Queen slay, bullshit, horseshit propaganda. Gamers are not the type of audience that this narrative would be accepted to, especially at this level. It's just not. The two worlds should have never collided, and it's the level at which they did it which caused the issue. You know why the COD community was only slightly outraged and the Battlefield community is completely outraged? It's because Activision and Sledgehammer didn't literally jam it down people's throats like EA and DICE did. And that's a fact. So let's lay that topic to rest, because we all know it's gonna blow over, and like I said before, when the game launches, there's gonna be a ton of players playing as women, and that'll pretty much be the end of it. But the other thing that I want to talk about, and the other reason that the lead up to Battlefield 5 is shaping up to be an absolute tragedy, and much more of a serious one, is the extremely poor attitudes from developers, publishers, as well as prominent community members. And boy, oh boy, let me just say right now, this one really, really pisses me the fuck off, man. So what you're seeing on your screen screen right now is a few examples of the literally hundreds that I've seen of these people going around with their noses in the air, correcting people, acting so high and mighty as if they are the intellectually superior being to anybody who disagrees with them. Now, we're not naming names except for one example, which we'll get to in a second, but go around and seek out some EA or DICE employees and just look at the way that they reply to people, man. It's really terrible. It's extremely unprofessional, oftentimes just downright rude and snarky. You might say, whoa, hold on, dude. They're always getting attacked. People are always talking shit to them. What are they supposed to do? Just sit there and take it? Yeah, kind of. When you're working for a publicly traded company and your reputation is everything, yeah, you probably shouldn't talk to people like that, because people like me are going to take notice, who are then going to tell people like you who are watching this video. And then everybody's going to know how big of douchebags you are, and before you know it, your pre-orders are going to be down 85% below that of your competitors. It's not rocket science. And then, of course, there's the big one. Let's take a look at the big one. The one that most of us have heard about, which is the completely idiotic, literal career-ending quote by the former EA bigwig, Patrick Sutherland, telling his audience and fans, the people who generate his paycheck, that they are uneducated and implying that they are moronic bigots and God knows what else, telling them to either accept women in the game or not buy it. And you know what the Battlefield community said? They said, okay. And there you go, Chief. If there's one rule of a big shot exec of a publicly traded company, you don't ever, under any circumstance, make fucking ultimatums with your customers where you tell them not to purchase your product. Good lord, what was this guy thinking? Just unbelievable. Even the dumbasses at PUBG know not to do this, and they probably take more hate than anybody in the entire gaming industry at the moment right now. It was simply a terrible move on all fronts. Now, the last example that I want to give you of the bad attitude of developers is a personal one. So if you guys follow me on Twitter, you may remember this, and if you don't, then please feel free to do so with the link down below. I'll have to paraphrase quite a bit here because the tweets have all been deleted, which I'll explain in a second, but don't worry, because I have a really good memory, and I remember pretty much word for word what was said. So there was this guy who will remain unnamed because I like to consider myself a decent human being, and this isn't about personal attacks. I'm only sharing this in order to give you guys an example of the bigger problem here. So this guy, who has worked on Battlefield games in the past, tweeted something along the lines of, "Developers don't have to make changes that the community wants. We know you want us to, but we don't have to. We don't have to," in all capitals, you know? And I was reading this tweet to myself and I said, okay, thanks for stating the obvious, mister. No one's holding a gun to your head and trying to say that you have to do anything. You are just a guy with a job. I am a guy with a job too. What if I told the people that work with my company that we don't have to do anything to please them? Like I really don't understand like why this even needs to be said in the first place, you know? And I was reading people's replies and his snarky replies to them, and I was so taken aback by how big of a jerk this guy was being that I ended up quoting his original tweet and just said, geez, this is a pretty high horse attitude to take. Sounds miserable. And the reason I said this is because, well, it sounded miserable. He sounded like a miserable person who maybe hates his job. I don't know. But anyway, then he quotes my tweet that I quoted of him, and he says, "This is exactly what's wrong with gaming." And of course, all of his little minions attacked me on Twitter, but I didn't reply to them because they kind of looked like a bunch of school shooters, and I don't want to mess with any guys like that, so gotta keep it safe, you know? Now, I did go back because I wanted to show you guys these tweets, but he deleted all of his tweets. He deleted the original tweet, and then he deleted the quote tweet of me, and my quote tweet won't even show up anymore because his original tweet was deleted. So, although I can't show you all the screenshots, if you follow me on Twitter, you probably remember that interaction. It was pretty funny. So there you go. That was my experience with one of these people. All right, guys, I was gonna go on a little bit more, but we are receiving some breaking news right now. This is hot off the press. This is not a drill. I have just seen that Battlefield 5 will be delayed until November 20th. Wow. Holy shit, did they do themselves in? Why is this happening? So I just went and checked out the official Battlefield website, and I will put the statement that they put out on the screen right now. Now saying that Battlefield 5 will have a new launch day over the summer. 10,000 players get their hands on the game, and we were honored to receive the award, blah, blah, blah. This is not really important. With the open beta just around the corner, we're excited to announce millions who come back, and we fully expect to see even more feedback coming. That's why we're moving our launch date. We're going to take the time to continue to make some final adjustments to core gameplay to ensure we really deliver on the potential of Tides of War. Okay, so just some quick thoughts on this, then we're gonna wrap this up because this video ended up going off the cuff now. I did play the closed alpha. Yes, it was pretty buggy, and I've heard from the Battlefield YouTubers that yes, the game is pretty buggy, probably pretty broken, probably should be pushed back, to be honest. But I'm just gonna say this now because I believe that this is the true reason why the game is being delayed. It's because they have had such poor marketing and so many PR disasters along the road road of this, that it's caused the game to be down 85% in pre-orders over Black Ops 4. The game is originally set to release between Black Ops 4 and Red Dead 2, and I think EA knows that after all the disasters they've had so far, that the game will get absolutely bodied getting released between those two games. We all saw what happened with Titanfall 2. It wasn't pretty. Alright guys, we're gonna wrap this up here, so I want to know what you all think about this. We've had the disastrous practices of bad marketing and bad PR, and now the game is getting delayed, which is gonna make them look even worse. Even if it's for a good reason, it's still gonna make them look worse. There's gonna be a lot of bad press coming with this. So I want to know from the Battlefield players down below, are you still planning on getting the game? What do you think about this? Are you pissed it's getting pushed back? And let's get our usual discussions going. I thank you guys all for watching. Leave a thumbs up if you enjoyed the video and subscribe for more content. Follow me on Twitter, links down below, and I'll see you all in the next video. Peace out.